I'm Erin Wiggins with CMPD's Public Affairs Division. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today we'll be providing information on a sex assault investigation in the Westover Division. Joining me is Sergeant Allison Rooks, R-O-O-K-S, from the Sex Assault Unit. She'll discuss the information involving the investigation, as well as take a few questions from our media partners. So, Sergeant Rooks.
Good morning. Again, my name is Sergeant Allie Rooks. I am the sergeant over the Sexual Assault Unit, and we will be discussing an incident that occurred yesterday morning, Wednesday, August 2nd, around 12:45 in the Westover Division. The incident occurred approximately the 200 block of West Woodlawn Road. Our survivor was walking when she heard some footsteps and realized that she was being followed, at which point our suspect, which we'll go over his description and a little bit more about him in just a moment, began to physically assault her and then ultimately sexually assaulted her as well. This particular survivor chose to fight back. We do suspect that there may be some injuries to his face or neck. I will go over his description here. As you can see, he is a Hispanic male, 5'10", about 180 pounds. It's hard to see in the photo, but he had on at the time some sort of neck gaiter that was very multicolored, short black hair, camouflage shorts, a baseball cap, black with some sort of gold writing on it, sneakers and black socks. We urge anyone who is in the area, heard anything, knows this particular individual, to please call Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. Any questions?
I'm somewhat familiar with that area. It's around, I pulled up the address because I got a report on it,
sure.
Actually. Ramada, around that
sure.
area, that is a rather busy, heavily trafficked area.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about how that might be helpful, but also kind of challenging.
Sure. There's a multitude of businesses, both that are open during that time and closed. And so the detectives in the Sexual Assault Unit did a phenomenal job and worked with the community, and I will tell you they were very cooperative. The businesses, there's a multitude of businesses, and we were able to get a great photo of the suspect to put out. But there are hotels, there's restaurants, gas stations, a multitude of different businesses.
And there's a lot of transients there too in that area.
There is
homeless population. Is that hindering the investigation at all?
Not at all. Patrol has beefed up in that area. Obviously, there is a patrol presence all the time, but particularly with this incident, there's more presence. And we're hoping that someone will either see him, know who he is, and call Crime Stoppers.
Sergeant, I'm assuming this is a stranger sex assault, and if so, how rare, how often do these types of things happen here in Charlotte?
Sure. They are rare. So, we investigate sexual assaults only in our unit, and I would say that there's a handful of times that I have to come in front of you guys and provide this kind of update, and it's very alarming, and that's why we work nonstop to make sure that we put out the information to get this person caught.
A question and a follow-up. The address here said 212 West Woodlawn. That is the Ramada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're going to use more broadly the 200 block of West. Yes.
Okay. To that end, though, are there any concerns for people that might be coming into town staying around those hotels? Because there are quite a few hotels around that area.
Sure.
Is that a concern for CMPD?
So this is like this reporter had said, this is random. This is a random act. And again, we are heavily saturated in that area. And we are hoping that with your assistance that we can get him caught as soon as we can.
What are people supposed to do if they find themselves in this kind of situation?
Sure. Well, that's definitely a personal thing that you need to come up with. She decided that she wanted to fight back. That's not everybody's. But I would say there's some things you can do, like letting someone know where you are, being on the phone with someone, not walking with headphones, to yell or scream if something happens, go to a more public area. There's a lot of different steps you can take. It's all based on what you feel comfortable with.
A lot of people are in that area either walking to or from where they're staying or work. Do you know if she was on her way home from an overnight job or anything like that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to go into those particulars, but I will tell you that there were a lot of people around, so we are just making sure that we talk to all witnesses, and if anybody sees this, for them to come forward and let us know.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Was a rape kit used?
We collected evidence in this case. I'm not going to go into the specifics of that, but we are working with our lab to get that prioritized as fast as possible so we can get some results, yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we've seen more sexual assault cases lately. What is CMPD doing to try to tackle this?
We're actually down in numbers for the year, so I don't know if that's completely accurate, but I will say as far as stranger cases, we are also down. So we are doing things like press conferences and throwing out this picture as soon as possible, beefing up patrols, getting our evidence analyzed in order to work through that.
What should people be aware of or do if they see this man in these pictures?
Call 911 immediately. If you know who he is, you can call 911. You can call the number I gave out, which I'll give again, 704-334-1600.
Was the victim hospitalized or?
I don't want to go into her medical care, but she did seek treatment. I don't want to go into how long, but yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Rooks. Prior to the press conference, our public affairs team sent out information as well as these photos through the My CMPD app, and we sent a press release to our media partners. So we certainly ask for your assistance in circulating this photo so that we can identify the suspect and complete the investigation. So thank you again for joining us.